Morning. Name is Ravi Kanani. I've been at Hotpoint for 10 years and I'm the head of the B2B and air conditioning sales at Hotpoint. So with laundromats, the idea was introduced to us by LG about 3 years ago. Many of us had lived abroad and seen laundromats, but in Kenya, we for whatever reason, we didn't see any laundromats. So between Hotpoint and LG, we started a journey of trying to find out why. And that journey culminated in us opening our own laundromat as a pilot study. That laundromat was very successful. And from there, we started approaching the wider market to also consider opening laundromats, using our pilot study as a case study. And over the last 2 years, there have been well over about, I would say, 100 laundromats opened across the country. So it's a really growing and flourishing business in the market right now. So at the moment, like I think usually happens in Kenya, whenever there's a new business idea, it tends to start in Nairobi. So most of the laundromats so far we've seen have opened in Nairobi. They tend to be open in densely populated areas with mid to low income earners. Generally, let's say if it's a high income area, people would have washing machines in their home. But so for example, the laundromat we opened was in Buruburu. So it's areas like that, Buruburu, Kilimani, Kileleshwa, those kind of areas. But we see this as something that can open all over the country, kind of like what we see with Java or art cafes. 10 years ago, they were a handful, and now every few kilometers you see one, and that's our vision for laundromats. So as we all know, after Nairobi, Mombasa is the second biggest city and kind of the next economic center of Kenya. And yeah, we're here because we want to see more laundromats opening in Mombasa. We've seen a lot open in Nairobi, and some people that have opened one are now opening 2 and 3. So we want to see those same trends in Mombasa. The business model is the same. It's working well in Nairobi, and there's absolutely no reason why it can't work in Mombasa. So that's why we're here. Sure. So, laundromats are very interesting to investors because compared to other businesses, they're not as capital intensive. We've partnered with a financing company, meaning people can open a laundromat without necessarily putting in a lot of their own finance. And then they can use the money generated from the laundromat to pay off the monthly fees. So given that is the case, we're looking at laundromats opening all over the country. In other parts of the world, there are thousands of laundromats. And that's our vision for Kenya, that within 3 years, there should be over 1,000 laundromats in the country. Great. So like I mentioned at the beginning, we've got our own laundromat. So the first thing we do is share all our learnings. Apart from selling the equipment, we also install it and we also provide maintenance and service. We've partnered with a financing company, so we're able to offer investors financing. We've also partnered with detergent companies because detergent is one of the main expenses. So we tie up the laundromat owners with the detergent companies. We help in terms of scouting location because one of the key success factors of a laundromat is opening in the right area. So for us, we're not interested in just selling machines to investors because what we've seen is the people that get into this business, if they're successful, they open after the first laundromat, they open a second, a third, a fourth. So we want to walk hand in hand with investors, make sure their investment is a success because if it is, we know they're going to open many laundromats. Yeah, the only thing I would add is that, it's a recession-proof business. Whatever's happening out there, you always need to wash your clothes. And compared to our grandfather's closets, we've got 10 times more clothes. And these days, people change their clothes 2-3 times a day. So it's a market that's constantly growing, and it's something I would encourage everyone to look into. So to open a laundromat, you're looking at a few million shillings. It depends on how many sets you're going to set up with. So we've got 2 machines, a 10 kilo and a 15 kilo washer dryer. So a set of 10 kilo washer dryer is about 600,000 and the 15 kilo is about 900,000. So most people, when they first open, we encourage them to open with 3 sets. 2 of 10 and 1 of 15. So your main investment is in the machines. So if you open with 1 of 15 and 2 of 10, you're looking at roughly 2.5, to 3 million for opening. And then once those machines are fully utilized, then you can add a fourth and you can add a fifth. So yeah, it kind of depends on how many sets you have. In terms of the ROI, the key factor is how many cycles you can run in a day. So to do one cycle of washing and drying takes about 1 hour. The more cycles you can do, the lower the ROI. On average, we're looking at between 1.5 to 2 years on the higher side. So we've partnered with a company called Aspira. They fully finance the machines, meaning you don't have to pay anything upfront. And then they charge a nominal fee per month, which you pay. It's on a reducing balance, meaning if someone is able to pay within 6 months, they can do that. If they need 12 months, they can do that. If they need 18 months, they can do that. So it's tailored to the individual investor and their cash flow position. And I think so far we've already opened 10 laundromats through the financing route.
Thank you very much.